So if someone's 18, what advice would you give them? Would it be to go to college? Would it be to become a consultant? What would you recommend?
I think I would have them figure out the work they're wired to do first, because that will then show you the path. Because for too many people, and I just went to a high school a couple of weeks ago and I interviewed all these high schoolers about their plans after school. And it was shocking to me how many people just went, well, I'm going to college because I don't know the next step. So they're just sort of falling into this herd mentality of I go to college because I'm told that's going to be my best path. When the truth is it's not, especially in 2026. As you know, most people want to be YouTubers. You don't need a college degree to be a YouTuber. It probably won't even help you at that point. You're probably better off spending that 4 years creating content than sitting in a classroom. And so depending on what you want to do, college might be the next step. It might be trades. It might be an entrepreneurial, venture. But I do think the faster you know the work you're wired to do, the faster you can fail when you're young, the better off you're going to be. Because too many people wait until they're in their 30s, 40s to figure out, man, I really hate this. Well, I hope you figure that out at 22 instead of 42. You will save yourself a whole lot of time and heartache. But the 18-year-olds I talk to, the number one question they have is, how do I get $1 million by 25? That's my most viral TikTok, was a call on the show. 18-year-old calls in and says, I want to turn 100 grand into $1 million by the time I'm 25. And I said, why? And then he backed out. He went, it was just a question. I went, no, I just want to know truthfully why. And at the heart of it, they're all scared that they'll never get ahead, they'll never build wealth, they'll never own a home, therefore they need to do something crazy risky and high leverage in order to make a lot of money now because they're never going to have it. And that's the heart of it. If you ask someone why, or and then what, they generally don't have an answer after one or two rounds of that.
Here's interesting. Let's just say he had to do it. He had to turn 100 grand into $1 million at 25.
Okay.
How would you do it?
Go make a lot of money and sock a lot of it away.
How would you make a lot of money? Let's just say his life depended on it. He turns 26 and
I
he
would
doesn't
start a
have
business.
$1 million.
I think starting a business is the best path for a young person to make a lot of money quickly. Because I don't know a lot of companies looking to hire an 18-year-old unless there's some kind of prodigy working in tech or AI who's going to pay them $200,000. But you can make $200,000 with a lawn care business at 18, and I've met those people. They're crushing it. So find a business that is not sexy, that is not highly promoted on TikTok, and go, all right, how do I scale this thing with the time that I have in a smart way that doesn't involve debt? And the people that do it debt-free just have much more room to play with. And the people that are highly leveraged, well, now they just own a job with a bunch of payments on the other side. But if you can scale this thing, hire a couple guys under you to start doing the lawn care, you scale into Christmas lights during the winter, you start to get resourceful, you can make money in these little niches over here and compete with the big guys.
If someone were to listen to every single thing you tell them to do, let's say you called them every single morning for 5 minutes, you're like, do this, do this, do this, do this. They're 18, they want to be a millionaire by 25. What's the likelihood of them doing that?
The likelihood, okay, give them 7 years. Now, this is largely dependent on their income because we always say your income is your greatest wealth building tool. So making $40,000, you're not going to get there from 18 to 25 to $1 million. I mean, it's a $900,000 gap we're talking about in 7 years. That's over $100,000 a year you need to be putting away or growing for you. So I think it's a terrible goal. And so my number one thing with that person would be to adjust their goal, not to help them get to the number.
But let's just say, like, if you could put your mind into the mind of an 18-year-old, what's the likelihood that they could go to becoming a millionaire in 7 years?
Likelihood, I would say 10%.
If they called me every day?
Every single day, 5 minutes with you. And you just, or however long, if you said, hey, today I want you to spend 14 hours going door to door trying to sell this. And then once you have this money, report back to me how much money you have. I'll tell you exactly how to reinvest it. Okay, that you only made this much. We're going to try doing this. Do this, study this, read this book. And if they just listen to every single thing and they needed, let's say, 8 hours to sleep, 2 hours for taking care of
They need Alex
themselves.
Hormozi for this. They need to scale 100x.
I'm just curious. What's the
there.
likelihood that they become a
And they
millionaire?
really followed it.
Yep,
Like they're
exactly, to a T.
And they're motivated every day.
Yep.
I would give it 40%.
Oh.
40%. And the reason I say 40%, not 50%, is because there is an element of just the person and randomness.
No, let's say the person listened to every single thing you said.
Yeah, but even then,
Okay,
I
so
think there's still
randomness, like they get into an accident, yes.
there could be like random things that just come up that I am not equipped to handle either. So I would say a 40%. I'd be confident.
Well, the key
4 out of
is
10
they would
people would
need
hit
to
it.
be, because I'm not a guy I'm not a betting man. So most people would say leverage, take a bunch of risks, and hopefully it works out. I'm going to be the tortoise instead of the hare and go, well, what is a 6-figure job or business you could create and then sock away that level of income? Live off 20%, 30% of that, keep living so frugally and sock it away. Which again is not a good quality of life, which is why I would not recommend it. I would go, hey, what's behind this? What happens at 25 with $1 million? What then? They probably don't have an answer.
I take it to 90% if I could have more than 5 minutes a day with them.
You can have as much time as you want.
Why isn't this a new channel, Graham? You should start this series.
No, because we would do social media consulting. And I would have this person nonstop throughout the day.
Creating content.
Not creating content, finding people who need social media consulting, like corporations.
You can't pay this person or go into business with them.
It's not
I just have
Tank.
to coach them. They can't come to me and say, like, Graham, what do I say? They need a thumbnail. What do you think about this thumbnail?
You can't get, well, then they would just be marketing. Graham, no,
Okay.
you're destroying the premise, because then they could just say, oh yeah, I'm basically
Yeah,
Graham.
Graham,
I'll
you're
just
destroying
ask,
the premise of this random hypothetical.
well,
Come on, man.
I'll just ask Graham, and because I'm Graham's closest friend.
Then it's back down to 40%.
Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah. It's hard to answer because I think it's just a useless goal. Because I think once you have $1 million at 25, your life is not necessarily better. You probably have no relationships at that point because all you did was grind. So now you're just single, no friends, with some money, and you probably have bought some nice things along the way. Let's be honest.
But you could make friends at any age. And to be fair, a lot of the people I hung out with from 20 to 25, I never see them. None of it really mattered. And now I have great friends.
And now you have at least one friend.
Now I have one friend.
And a wife.
And a wife.
One
and
quality
2 cats
friend
and a dog.
is worth 100 non-quality friends.
That math hurts my head, but I'll go with it. Yeah, I just think that person has their goals out of order. I would rather them go, what is a problem in the world that I would love to solve? That's a much better question to ask than how much money can I make or how do I get to a certain number. That number needs to be a byproduct of something that you added to as far as value to someone or a group of people. And that we talk about that at Ramsey. One of our core values is if you help enough people, you don't have to worry about money. That's what Dave's done. I mean, most of our content's free. We're not asking you for money at every turn. You could buy a course or a book, but it's not like we gatekeep it.
See, I agree with that, but my mindset was always from 18 to 30, you head down work. You sacrifice everything you don't need and you just head down work because the value of money when you're 20 years old is so high compared to the value of that same dollar at 50.
Agreed.
When you're 20,
Can I tell you the math on it?
Tell me.
At 20 years old, every dollar you invest is a 73x return at 65. So $1 at 20 turns into $73 at 65.
At what rate of return?
That's, I believe, 9 or 10%. Now, when you invest that same dollar at 55, maybe a 4x return if you're lucky at 65. So you can see from 73x, it starts to go down, down, down over time because you have less time for compound growth to work its magic.
Yeah. Now, I'm sure I don't need to say this, but buying a home is usually one of the largest and most important financial decisions you'll ever make. And with rates moving around, it's easy to feel the pressure to act fast. But the truth is, the right time to buy or refinance is when you're financially ready.
That's why today's sponsor, Churchill Mortgage, stands out. They're not a transactional lender. They're a trusted guide focused on helping you build a smart, long-term plan for homeownership.
And what really makes Churchill different is their focus on readiness. They walk you through your entire financial picture and help you understand what you could truly afford, not just what you could qualify for. It's way more than just a mortgage. It's a strategy.
And we've actually had Dave Ramsey on the podcast before, so we've talked firsthand about his philosophy around debt-free living and financial peace. Churchill has been his trusted mortgage company for over 30 years, which says a lot about how aligned they are with that long-term planning.
They also have a 4.9 rating on Google and were named the Newsweek top nationwide mid-size lender based on client ratings. That kind of trust doesn't happen by accident. So if you're thinking about buying a home or refinancing, get a customized plan built around your goals at churchillmortgage.com/coffee.
Again, that is churchillmortgage.com/coffee to learn more and to see what the smarter mortgage looks like for you. This is a paid advertisement, NMLS ID 1591, NMLS consumeraccess.org, equal housing lender.